Hello everyone and welcome back to recreating The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past inside of Minecraft. In this episode we'll go over 9 new traps added into the game. First up is the cannon trap. You probably know what a cannon is, I hope so, and it's pretty much the same thing here. The only difference is that the cannon in A Link to the Past is not stationary. It actually hangs onto a wall and slides along that wall, say in a dungeon room. This makes Link vulnerable from all the locations in that room. Creating this in Minecraft required a mechanism to lock the trap onto a nearby wall, which was easy enough. I then added the wall sliding code, which detects if the wall is about to end, in which case it starts sliding in the opposite direction. It also shoots cannonballs at set intervals, which can damage Link. Combine this with models made by Finn, and we've got a fun new trap, so let's check this out in the game. Alright, so first up is the cannon, and of course we're going to need a wall, which I have built here in my testing area. So let's start here with function, so there we go, and it has attached itself properly. Now Minecraft has this rotation bug, which I'll probably encounter in a bit, where it does like some really weird rotations sometimes. I'm gonna try to recreate that bug. Now it's not gonna do it anymore, is it? Yeah. Why does this happen? Like, it works 2 times and then the same code just doesn't work a 3rd time. And now let's actually get damaged by it. So I'm going to summon another one here. There we go. I'm going to go into game mode adventure. I actually have a red mail on right now, so it will reduce some of that damage because, you know, the armor takes away like a percentage of the damage you get. So if I take that off for a second, armor tier 0, or more like 1. I don't have any armor anymore, and now if I get hit, oops, there we go, 2.5 hearts instead of that 1.5 with the highest armor hit, with the highest armor tier. So that's a little bit of how the armor works and also how the cannon works. So let's get back to recorded Casper. Next up is the spark trap. This enemy's name basically says it all. It's an electrical spark that is somehow crawling along the walls of a dungeon. If you spawn this trap near a wall, it will stick to its side and travel forward. When it encounters the end of the wall side, it will rotate and start moving along the next side. It keeps doing this, which makes it just look like the spark is sliding along every side of the wall in a miserable loop of boredom. We added different animation frames to give the textures a sparkly look. So let's kill some sparks. Oh wait, you can't kill this trap. Anyway, alright, so next up is the spark. So we're gonna do Link to the Past, summon / spark. We have to once again do this like near a wall, because it will, as I said, kind of move along the walls like that. So I'm gonna do one inside as well. There you go. This one's actually, this one's very, how should I say it, like modeled. We spent like days going back and forth over how this should be modeled. We have a cube model with different textures that are constantly switching around. We have particles, electric particles, and we have sound effects for when it reaches a corner, and it also rotates on the Y and the X axis, which was a pain to figure out. So yeah, that's just for this small little enemy we had that much work. I'm also gonna summon one on the inside of this little thing, and now we have 2 of them roaming around. As you can see, once again, if I touch this one, boom, 2 hearts of damage, and if I change my armor tier to like, say, the highest once again, this is gonna deal like, I don't know, yeah, 1 heart. I think it takes away half of the damage, so once again the benefit of armor tiers. Same for this one, with, there he is. Inside of a dungeon, this is not really going to be hard to dodge, but it is going to be hard to dodge if we put it in little corridors that you have to go through. For example, if this is a corridor in a dungeon and you have to go through this one, then the player is probably going to have some trouble, like you're going to have to wait for it to go forward. So it's probably going to be quite hard. And in other situations we also want to like make it have verticality, so we can summon like 4 of them above each other, so that it creates a giant like electric wall that you have to dodge or something. That's just some ideas. Drop your ideas in the comments. And that is the spark enemy, so let's get back to the script. Bubble is actually one of the oldest enemies in our recreation. I added it all the way back in May of 2022, 4 months after development started on this project. Don't worry though, I patched it up recently so that it actually fucking functions and doesn't go through walls. Anyway, Bubble is a trap that bounces off of walls. Do you remember that dead meme with the TV logo hitting the corner? Well, that's basically what this is. It has a little sound when it hits a wall, and it's comprised of two parts. The A Link to the Past texture doesn't help much because its resolution is tiny and the people who made it were probably high on cocaine, but it's supposed to represent a skull with red balls around it. We made these red balls spin, unconnected to the direction that the bubble is actually moving in. The models were made by Reeves. Let's check this out in the game. Alright, next up is the bubble enemy, which we're once again going to use this box for. I'm just going to summon it right here. And there you go. So this is the bubble enemy. And as you can see, as I mentioned in the video, it has two parts. That little skull is always facing in the current moving direction of your bubble, and the balls, the red balls around it, are constantly spinning. That doesn't matter. That doesn't depend on the direction of movement. So as you can see, it should work, but since this is I think it's a square box, it will get stuck in corners like this. Which, if I go back to my metaphor for the DVD screen logo, the reason why that didn't happen there is because it was always a rectangle. So if it's a rectangle, it will never get stuck in a loop. So as you can see, that's his movement. We're gonna add some more obstacles so that it becomes a little more fun. It also has a special feature which I didn't mention in the video, which is that it can take away your magic. So if I go into game with adventure right here, I'm trying to touch you, man. Okay, here we go. As you can see, you heard a little damage sound effect because it took away half a heart, and you heard a little slow down magic sound effect. It's probably more noticeable. Yeah, as you can see, I lost half of my magic point bar right there. And I'm once again wearing the red mail, so let's see how much damage it actually deals if you don't have any armor. Let's have a look here. It deals 1 heart. It's pretty alright. This is a pretty small enemy, but it appears in a lot of dungeons actually. And also sometimes it can spawn out of a chest, there's a group of them around a chest that you want to open. And you can't kill them, by the way. There's no way of killing these things. That's basically why it's a trap. That's the bubble trap. I hope you enjoyed, and let's get back to the script. Bumper isn't really a trap because it doesn't cause damage, except for fall damage, but it does cause epic suave movement for Link. When he touches the bumper, Link will be bumped or bounced backward. If he jumps on it, he'll be bounced even higher and further. It's quite fun to play around with in dungeons. Maybe it's a little too fun. Did Ganon put these here as distractions? Is he trying to stall Link from beating him to death? No, they just make you fall into pits. I made this ugly model for it, so please put your reactions of disgust in the comments, and now let's bounce around in the game. Alright, next up is the bumper, which doesn't deal any damage, but it's just a really fun thing to play around with. And as soon as I summon it, I'm probably going to be bounced away. So let's just see. There we go, I've got bounced away. Let's jump on this thing. So there's a little bit of a catch to this, as you can see. It's a little bit, how would I say it, a little bit jittery, as you can see. And the reason for that is because I'm actually following an armor stance path. Because the sad thing about Minecraft is that you can't edit the player's motion tags, so you can't launch a player in a direction. So I was forced to basically use an armor stand for this, and then just teleport the player to that armor stand every tick. And since there's only 20 ticks a second, and the game is running at I don't know, 60 FPS, you're obviously gonna get some buffering between those teleportations. I can fix this with some mathematics and stuff, and this API which can launch players. But yeah, that's basically all there is for the bumper. Ooh. Oh god, what the f— A Link to the Past has 3 types of balls. It literally has balls, because this game is amazing, but it also has small balls and gargantuan balls, in the form of traps and dungeons. The small ball is about the size of Link on a bad day, while the gargantuan ball is twice his size. Finn modeled his balls for me, and I used the new item displays in Minecraft to make them roll. Aligning this was much harder than I thought, so I spent 2 hours of my life making a fucking ball roll. Anyways, they deal a lot of damage, and they break when touching a wall, and they also break when they collide with either a player or another ball of the same type. Let's look at some balls. Alright, so next up we have balls. Yes, we have balls. Okay, so there's actually 4 types of balls, we're 8 types of balls. Basically, you have the small ball, the big ball, and each of them have 4 directions that you can summon. So I'm gonna start off with the small ball in this direction. I just love this rotation, by the way. I spent too long making this rotation, so I just like have to show it off. Beautiful. Little sun effects and little particles when it hits a wall. And another thing I kind of have to show off is that they can collide with each other, as I mentioned in the video. So I'm gonna have to line this up somehow. Okay. And there we go. They're gonna collide just like that. There's also the huge balls. We have Gargantuan Ball. There we go. This one also has a little sound effect. I'm gonna make two of them collide as well. There we go. Just like that. But it can also do damage. There's now a ball, and it breaks, and it also deals damage. Just like that. This also works with Gargantuan Balls. They deal a little bit more damage because they're gargantuan. I think they deal 2 hearts. There you go, they deal 2 hearts. And those are the balls. I hope you enjoyed my balls, and let's get back to the script. The next trap's name is literally Trap. I'm not joking, this game has a trap that is just called Trap. It also has a bigger variant called the Big Trap. These original names come with pretty dull fucking mechanics. The small trap is stationary and just damages you if you somehow lose enough brain cells to walk into it, while the big trap can move in cardinal directions and will do so if you are in its range. It'll basically look in all four cardinal directions, and if Link is in any of them, like in 6 blocks of the cardinal direction radius, it'll launch in that direction, not stopping until it hits a wall. If we were to place one of these in a maze, you'd be completely done for. Reeves modeled these beauties, and he also added 6 different models for reflection. Every 5 seconds, both of these variants of the trap will play a short yet cool reflection animation where a stripe of light shines over the smooth surface. Let's lose some brain cells and walk into some traps. Alright, so next up are the trap and the big trap. For the trap, I'll literally just show you what it does, because as I said, it doesn't do anything. There it is. I'm gonna show you the little shine. There we go. It does that every 5 seconds, so let's see that once again. I'm gonna zoom in here. Beautiful. It's a really nice touch. And it also deals a little bit of damage. 1.5 hearts. I'm not wearing any armor. I believe it'll be a little less if I'm wearing my armor, so let's do that right now. There we go. Now it's 1 heart. And now it's 1 heart. That's nice. So that's the small trap, but there's also a big trap. And the big trap can actually move, as I mentioned in the video. So for this, we're going to once again go into our beautiful box right here. And we're going to summon a big trap right here. It's not actually bigger, per se. It's just, it moves. So that's the difference. It's actually a little bit bigger, but okay, there it is. It also has a little shine, as you can see. And this trap, as I mentioned, will try to chase you around in cardinal directions. So as soon as I stand within this line, it will go in that direction. As I also mentioned, it doesn't really have a limit on how far it goes. So if I do this, it's fucking gone. It's gone. We're never seeing it again. Place another one and let's test the damage output here. I'm pretty sure this deals quite a lot of damage. That's a beautiful 1 heart. Nice. But I am wearing red mail, so let's once again take off the red mail and see how much damage we get dealt. That's 2.5 hearts of damage for the big trap. So this is a pretty cool trap. It can even see you through walls, which is very revolutionary, as you can see. It's not really hard to dodge once again, but as I mentioned in multiple videos before, if you put this in a crowded dungeon room, this will pose much more of a challenge. So that is the big trap and the small trap. Hope you enjoyed, and let's get back to the final trap. And finally there is Winder. I absolutely despised making this thing simply because the animation we wanted for it turned out to be a little more complicated to pull off. In A Link to the Past, this trap is like the spark because I literally copied the code, because it also moves along a wall's sides, but it has 4 segments and it is made of fire. The animation we wanted was a kind of spiraling, offset per segment rotating thing. That doesn't really make sense, so I'll just show you right now on the screen. It came out nicely, but it took absolute agony to get this to function. What you see right here is comprised of 12 different entities. There's like 4 entities that control the actual wall movement, 4 of them that just are the models for each segment, and there's 4 of them that control like the spiraling rotation thing. So that's a lot for one enemy, because we try to use as few entities as possible to maximize our ticks per second. Let's take a deeper look in game. Alright, our final trap for today is the Winder, and for this I'm gonna once again use this little box. And before I show you this, I have to warn you that it actually does a little bit of a bug at the start, because it's trying to figure out where the wall is. So at the start it'll be a little weird, as you can see. There you go. But as soon as it finds its wall, there you go, it is done. So you can probably tell this is an insanely beautiful enemy. I'm saying that myself, but it's really true. Because Reeves wanted to go all out for this one. I have no clue why, because this will probably only be used like 5 times. But it has changing models, it's made up of 4 segments, has fire particles, has orange dust particles, the textures change, it also rotates in this like swirling, spiraling kind of fucking shit thing. I'm gonna be honest, 100 lines of code for this thing, kind of insane, but I actually do love it, so I'm really glad we went with this like art direction. And it also deals damage, of course it does. I'm gonna try this. I'm just gonna let it hit me. There we go. This will probably work. So as you may have noticed, every single part can damage you, but of course there's a cooldown between when the entire thing can damage you. Luckily, otherwise it would be very painful. So as you can see, little cooldown, and yeah, that's basically all there is to show. I'll also I didn't actually show this with the spark, but it can do like a lot when it comes to changing like the direction and the path of this enemy. So if I make a little bit of place here, I'm gonna make it take a little bit of a different path, just like this. So it will follow this new path pretty nicely. This is code that I wrote. It's actually not that complicated, but I really like the way it works. And it will also do like little gaps. You can figure that out. If I make a gap here, it will automatically update. So yeah, this was the Winder. I'm really happy with this one. I hope you enjoyed. Leave feedback in the comments, and let's get back to the final outro segment. And that's it. 9 new enemies added to our ongoing recreation. This is already episode 19. It's crazy to think that this series has now been going for over a full year. I can't wait to see how many episodes I can push out monthly before I run out of content. Thanks for watching, subscribe for more, and don't forget to stay safe.